Hi, it's Rob from Property Investments UK, and in today's video we're going to be looking at what systems a good letting agent should have in place to successfully manage a serviced accommodation portfolio or serviced flats. Okay, so serviced accommodation is a very good, profitable way of kind of running portfolios, running properties, investments, but there are some key things to kind of consider when it comes to managing that, and that's where, obviously, from a lettings point of view, Paul Residential Estates have got that very well kind of wrapped up and rounded in terms of the services they offer. So Paul, again, is probably the best person to kind of give you an insight in terms of how the letting side of things works. But what systems do you guys have in place, I guess, to try and make sure service accommodation runs smoothly, it's kind of looked after, and it's the right type of people as well that are going to be staying there?
I think one of the key things is that we already had a system in place before we incorporated this onto an investment side.
Yeah, because you're already running the lettings kind of model before.
Absolutely. You know, and the service model as well, you know, for individuals. So it was good to have a model in place where we've built the relationships with clients. You know, we know how it all works in terms of hiring cleaners, reportings, etc. And it was actually having that in place and then finding the correct developments to implement it on. So I think the key is being in a letting agent. You know, we're not trying to create something to add to something to give it extra value. It's actually the other way around for us. We want to find the stock to be able to put our model on. Which is, you know, sometimes difficult at the end of the day. It has to fit key specifications. But I think the clue's in that. I mean, and what we have is we have got all the systems in place. So, you know, we do weekly cleans on your apartment, etc. We've got that in place. The reporting, we've got that in place. The meet and greet for our clients, etc. The relationships, we've got them. So we're not trying to, I guess, suck eggs with it.
So from an investment point of view, a landlord's point of view, they're not having to get involved in all that aspect.
No, it's fully hands off.
Fully do that.
Fully hands off.
And you're coming from a different angle. It's not like a developer that's trying to say, right, got some flats here, let's try and do something
and look
with
for
it.
a different spin on marketing.
And don't have the systems, the processes in place, but you already have the cleaning contracts, you already have the local agents to do the meet and greets, welcome the kind of the clients and stuff into the property, show them the
and we've already ironed out all the pitfalls we have, so when we move to a new area like we are doing now with Luton, we already have all the questions we need to ask in place. You know, so we know what mistakes have happened in the past. We know what we need to iron out for everything, so when we go in, we can go in with very specific dynamics and say, right, this is what we need, can you supply this? This is the cost we're paying there, this is the cost we want here. So we've got everything that, so the transition is seamless, you know, and the last thing we want, and why people generally want to go down the service route, is people have got their own lives, haven't they? And we say, right, okay, if you're willing to do this for us, obviously you will reap the rewards, that's the idea of it, but we will look after every single purpose of it for you. You'll have no contact to any bills to be paid, you name it, you know, we will literally look after the whole shebang.
It's a hands-off kind of nature and stuff. And is that scalable for you guys as well, obviously, in terms of looking at other areas? So you don't have to just be in Manchester, you can be, as long as the location's right, you can be in other areas around the UK. There
are certain aspects, you know, it's got to have a good business hub, etc., you know, headquarters for business, it's got to fit the corporate client we're looking for. But it's relatively open. There's a few areas where we won't go into because it's been running a little time. London has had this serviced accommodation route for quite a long time, and, you know, and we don't necessarily deal in London anyway. But we're limited to what we want to do because there's no point in oversaturating ourselves or oversaturating for our clients. When we do all our research on what we want to do for service model, we obviously go to our suppliers of our clients and say, will this fit here? And if they say yes, then we will then go and look for a development that suits in terms of location and specification.
And those systems are able to kind of work within those areas from your central hub, I guess. You don't necessarily
absolutely.
Need to,
no, absolutely, yes. So obviously cleaners will be subcontracted, etc. But we will be hands-on when we're appointing these and making sure we can do it. And because we do reports every week and the cleaning every week, we're also on hand to experience if you've got any issues straight away. You know, if we're not happy, then we will change it. Whereas I suppose on a normal AST that you've got a management in place, but they don't go around, you might not know something's going wrong until 6 months down the line.
I guess, than a normal tenancy, isn't there? Like, as a landlord, you might buy a property, give it to a letting agent, and then that's it. It's looked after. They go around once every 3 months or 6 months, but apart from that, you don't tend to hear too much from it.
No.
And I guess you don't necessarily need to, as a landlord, invest on the service model, as long as you've got the right agent to run those elements within the business.
But you'll have a more specific management, because like I say, even though you don't hear from a normal letting agent for 3 to 6 months, then 3 months a lot of bad things could be happening in your apartment.
You're not aware of it.
Wear and tear, you know, I mean, it could be whatever. But with us, we want to make sure that everything's in place, you know, because it works very well for us. I mean, I think we'll go into it a little bit later, but our business is your business. You know, that's how it works. We go into partnership with you. You know, we're committed and motivated to make this work, and the better it works for everyone, is the easier it is for everyone as well.
Make sure it's a long-term kind of prospect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. So there are obviously systems in place that allow that kind of service accommodation thing to run, but that's why it's important to use kind of letting agents and stuff, but also not just, I suppose, a traditional letting agent. A letting agent has got experience with
in the service model,
specifically the service model.
Yeah.
Not only how to find those right type of tenants and companies that are going to want to rent that type of project or property, but also making sure that the back end systems are in.
And it's been fully transparent. You know, at any point, one of our clients can say, one of our investors can say, right, who's in my apartment, etc. Can I have a report on it? Can I see the update, etc. And that's it. We have, you know, even though we deal with a multitude of businesses, if you like, we have a very specific set office for the service accommodation side, so we're always on hand. You know, it's 24 hours, it is a 24/7 service. You know, a lot of the meet and greets we do, people will fly in and land at 11 o'clock.
So specifically within your letting agent, you have a team that just deals with service?
Just deals with service, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good structure. So there's other videos that we're going to talk on in a minute, which will look at how to kind of run a service, what sort of benefits and stuff they are, but hopefully that just gives you a bit of a context to what things to have in place and why it's important to have the right kind of letting agent as well. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this content and you'd like to join our free online property training course, we've got a link for it on this page. And in there we cover a range of different property strategies to help you get started, either building a long-term property portfolio or creating cash flowing property business. We also look at ways to increase your return on investment with any of the properties you're maybe considering. And we also have a couple of cheat sheets and downloadable documents in there as well. Simply click on the link to join the free training course today.